How are you doing today, sir?
Good, Stephen. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Let me start by saying I've seen all of season two. It's what I call very good, and I can't wait to talk about it further with more people.
I'm very happy to hear that. I'm glad that it's very good.
Yeah, it's. I want to stress very good, and you have a really good arc this season. I'm very curious. You guys were obviously filming right before COVID shut down the world, and I read that the story was, the scripts were redone to sort of take in the COVID of it all. I'm curious how much of your storyline maybe got changed as a result of COVID, or was it what it ended up being?
When we started when we started filming the second season, the first couple of weeks, I was only privy to the first episode or two. So I had a general idea from Carrie about how she saw it going on, but much like season one, they were hesitant to cement anything in stone, because they part of the task for the writers on this job is to hit a moving target and to provide episodes of narrative television that keep up to speed with what's currently happening, which is a very difficult thing to do. So consequently, I didn't know how far they were going to go in Cory's arc with certain storylines. That being said, the introduction of COVID to the story was so arresting and formidable that I don't think there was anybody that read it that wasn't ready to try to undertake it. It was a different thing entirely once we started acting it, because it hard to go back into the moment where you didn't know, because your life had been so populated for the previous year and a half with everything you do know all the time. So it was it felt like in the making of it, we're like, oh gosh, I don't even know if I can realistically go back to the point where I didn't know about these things. I didn't carry that level of tension with every interaction, and that was probably the best acting of the entire thing.
Do you view Corey as a good person, a bad person, or does it depend on the day of the week?
That's good. Uh, Oh, I hate to be such a relativist, but it would really depend on the vantage point with how you judge good and bad. We, living in a capitalist democracy, one is inclined to believe that if you ascend to a role of power or a sense of wealth, then you must somehow be good, if that's what our society is. If those are the foundations of our society. But I think most of us generally are dubious about that idea. I think Corey is somebody who navigates that system really well. So, can somebody who navigates a system that may be corrupt very well be without corruption themselves? I Seems unlikely to me. But I think, like the rest of the morning show, where they find drama is in the gray areas of all of our lives. We're so interested right now in creating these polemics that it has the potential of undermining somebody's entire humanity. And so I think the one of the things that they're trying to explore is, what if people aren't good or bad? What if they are sometimes good and sometimes bad, and all in all human, trying to make their way through their lives as best they can?
I agree with what you just said. What for people? I guess I want to know a little generic thing, but what do you want to tease fans of the show about season two?
Ooh, that's such a great question. Making room for the future is not so easy, and not everybody is able to navigate the bright new world. And some people will fall by the wayside.
That's very good. You have some fantastic scenes with Reese and Jennifer this season, where there's just a lot of emotions on display. Can you sort of talk about working with both of them and what you love about working with both of them, especially in emotional scenes like that?
Yeah. Well, they're both, to arrive at this point in our lives and our careers, you have to have had a breadth of experience that I find remarkable. Having tried to navigate a career in acting myself, I have just unending affection and awe for the people who have been working in high pressure situations, put themselves in high pressure situations to try to deliver complex material, or at the very least, material that appeals to a wide group of people. It's really hard. I can express how hard that is to do. So you immediately feel a sense of camaraderie, that you get to be a part of their world momentarily, in the scenes of getting to act with them. And they're actually playing people not unlike themselves who have ascended to roles of power, and are doing their best to navigate that on a day-by-day basis. So it's not hard in that way for Cory to be very present in those moments with them. And so there are two things that are happening. One, Cory is watching them, trying to understand and predict how their behavior is going to shape his own agenda, or perhaps how he can accommodate it in his emotional life. And then there is my experience of just being at this point in my career, getting to work with such formidable people on such formidable material, that that fills me with a kind of gratitude as well.
Thank you so much for your time, and congrats on that Emmy for season 1.
Thanks very much, Stephen. I appreciate that.